This is Margaret in Windsor, and I'm showing you a violation given me by Eric. It says Eric. It's Eric Smith. He's the ranger with the, um, well, they're out the agriculture department, the U.S. Forestry. He gave it to me on a specific date, March the 6th, oh, 4. But he's done it. He's been told when to issue the citation, or they locked me up 4 times over the years, and it was done in patterns. I wrote a book about mind control back in Atlanta, and that's when Larry Flint was shot, March the 6th of 78. I was living in Marietta. He was shot in Lawrenceville. Later, he flew me out to his home in '83 during a political campaign to replace a doctor whose plane was a passenger plane he was on, went down, Larry McDonald. He was U.S. Congressman, doctor I'd written about. And I was out at Mr. Flint's, and I've put this on other YouTube and Facebook, Hustler magazine, the April issue of '84, the editorial, he said I knew who was responsible for a shooting and everything. Well, they're mind control murders. And the way I know, this was meant to be, I thought at some point I would have a life. I thought to tell it because it's all wrong, what's going on. And I was kidnapped, and I'd like my name back and the truth told about it. But what I wanted to focus on here is this. I was deliberately kept homeless after I came, well, before I came here. I was just put on the side of the road, and people don't like to think, oh, the government can't do that. This is a violation here for garbage that and me trying to live and walk with a backpack and keep my things freezing, starving. You would think the good people of this area could at least care about, because they know what's behind it all. They know I'm not just a human being out there. Nobody tells what I'm responding to. And somebody the other day said, well, it sounds like you're running from the law. That's exactly what I'm doing. When I got the letter from the U.S. Attorney, Harper, in Atlanta, June the 23rd of '79. I thought it was the book. I didn't know about my kidnapping. And the names involved, the doctors, and about mind control and modifying behavior and programming people to kill. Well, that was just a part of it. I found out in '83 my real name and why all this has happened to me. So let me get to this. I never saw Mr. Flynn again. He furnished me a car for a year. And after the lease was up, I turned it back in. I couldn't get jobs. I was on the side of the road getting beat up, everything in the book, and told by cops that they couldn't help me. I was actually beat up walking out to Gatlinburg, Tennessee from Knoxville in the hot sun with the promise of a job. Can you believe it? And got beat up and waylaid after I left the police department there. And in the middle of the night walking, trying to get back to Knoxville. So people tend to ignore it because it's not that they don't believe it, they do. That's the problem. So they figure as long as their life's pretty good, they're going to keep it that way. I was beat up on the way back, and I thought I was going to die. I made it back and called the cops, and what the cop did when he came, he said, there's not enough police on our force or anywhere around here to protect you. And I'm going to leave it at that because nothing's been prosecuted. I even worked for the DA in '80 after antifreeze had been put in me. Had a letter, remember, from the U.S. Attorney, from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. Now then, I'm back to this, and I'm not sure. I've made some tapes, and I'm not sure anybody's even watching them or listening to them. But the mind control murders were done in patterns. That's why I showed you when Eric came out on the 3/6 of '04, but 3/6 is when Larry Flint was shot. So he was told to come out on that date, just like the others, like the Susan Smith that ran her kids off into the lake and drowned them, and Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City, the Waco, and the John Bonet Ramsey. So anyway, that's why I showed you that. They have run me and deliberately kept me homeless. The law has. Yeah, I can't go to the law. And in fact, I keep saying this, Carl Bartner, retired Virginia State Trooper, his wife told me in '09, August 14th, '09, this is how we run you with chemicals. I'm allergic to chemicals, immune disorder. And my body shuts down, immune system attacks itself when I'm around toxic fumes. So I'm going to leave it at that. Over the years, I've been put with got a home where I was soaked in it. And so I went to the forestry to camping where most people go for fresh air and fun. And I'm just going to narrow it down to this because they arrested me and run me like hell over the years and did things that are so sick. And the Rangers, that's law enforcement, were involved, just like Eric. So it's got really bad because I went on YouTube naming names and all that. There's other people involved in this. And so they really have just about got me. But if you ever saw what happened to me the last month and a half, you see what can be done in plain sight, and nobody will touch it or help me. So I sit here penniless. I got $5 or $6 on me. The things I went out and bought because I was so sick from the chemicals being used are here in the floor. I've thrown away a sleeping bag and the tarps that I bought yesterday, and the fuel I threw away. I can't carry it with me. That was about $12 there, just the fuel. So I spent what few bucks I had in hopes of going out and camping and feeling better, getting fresh air. Instead, I paid the cab, and this gets into another story. A cab shows up here Friday morning. I couldn't take it anymore, and it's somebody I hadn't seen in a long time, and I trusted. He charged me $50. I went back to Motel 6 and spent a couple of nights, and I felt better. I got to where I was paralyzed, inhaling whatever was here, and I couldn't walk. So I went there, and I got to at least where I could walk. And I called this cab driver again. He came, and he was going to take me, I was going to go up on the parkway. You have to go on the parkway to get to where I was going, up near Cornelius, across the street at that the Blue Ridge at that pond back there. It's a good camping place. Well, when they have to call an okay taxi being on the Blue Ridge. Well, when he said Cornelius and a cab, nobody goes camping in a cab but me. They know who it is. So they told him, and they did tell him this, I believe him, that on Sunday cabs weren't allowed on the parkway. And so it left me nowhere to go, and I'd bought and spent $100 on gear and stuff to go out and camp to get fresh air, really, and feel better, but to have a place to be. So no sooner than I got another spot that was legal. It's hard to pull your stuff in there. It's overgrown now. It used to be a horse trail, but it's legal. And it's out at Arcadia near North Creek Campground. No sooner had I pulled it, and I'm old, I'm 76, and I'm so beaten from the inflammation, I can't walk. I'd pulled my stuff a little ways in, as far as I could go, and it was about to rain, or it was sprinkling. I put the tent up and got in it, exhausted. I wasn't asleep long till Eric Smith shows up. He is really mad at telling me to get out. I've broken a tree. It's not a branch, it's just a little thing sticking out over the tent. And telling me to get that stuff out of there. He knows the condition. He knows the background on all this. He knows what he's done. They're the ones that should be locked up and put away. I haven't committed a crime unless being born and trying to live is a crime. It's shocking that everybody has gone all these years in plain sight and helped and participated and watched what's been happening to me. And I have letters from Jack Hartsfield, who's he was undercover reporter. He's cousin, I believe, to Hank Hartsfield, the astronaut. Jack himself was FBI. He's retired now. I have letters I put on here from him stating exactly stuff that I've told. If my word's no good to anybody, I've been framed, really, and made to look and told for people not to help me, to not rent to me, etc. So I've been kept homeless. So anyway,